What's going on, guys? Welcome to Dime Dropper, episode 25 of our 24-minute recaps. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe on all platforms at YouTube at Dime Dropper Podcast. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify, and of course, to follow us on social media at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Dime Dropper Pod. So, before we get started today, just want to say, with a heavy heart, as always, been a tough day reflecting. Prayers up to the Mauser, Altabelli, Chester, Bryant family, and really sad news today. Hearing about Sekou Smith, longtime NBA TV blogger and writer, passing away because of coronavirus. That is just awful news, man. Just terrible, age 48. So our prayers to the NBA TV, Turner family, Sekou's family. Just horrible. But let's get to the basketball. We only have 2 games to talk about. I won't waste too much of your time today. Clippers and Hawks. Heat and Nets from last night. The Clippers, my Clips, just got our 7-game winning streak snapped, which was very inevitable after the news came out that Paul George and Kawhi would miss the game due to contact tracing. I talked about in the last episode how disappointed I was because I really wanted the streak to keep going, see how much we could build it up. But it is what it is. The good news is they came back today, according to beat writers of the Clippers, that they came negative. So we'll see. Hopefully it stays negative. But anyway, let's talk about the game today. I didn't have much expectation. They were playing against another dime dropper team in the Hawks. And we started with the lineup of Luke Kennard, Terrence Mann, Reggie Jackson, Serge Ibaka, and Nick Batum. So immediately what strikes me is we're going with 3 guards with T-Man, Reggie, and Kennard. And when you replace Terrence Mann with Lou, when we've seen that lineup in the past so far this season, it's been awful. But Terrence Mann did a really good job tonight in the first half of getting over screens. And, honestly, for perimeter defenders, like 90% of defense now is just getting over screens. So him getting over screens on Trae Young, he was doing a really good job of that, limiting him in the beginning. I thought Serge in the first half was holding down the fort under the basket. But I also thought the Hawks were just being really sloppy, careless turnovers, because once again, even though I'm watching it from a Clippers-centric view, I still have been a Hawks. I've been along for the journey for them this year. Trae Young and especially DeAndre Hunter, does not miss a lot of those shots he was missing. John Collins was really quiet for a large portion of the game, like really quiet. But I don't know. It's also weird because when Trae Young doesn't have the ball, he just stands at half court and does nothing. So I just thought the Clippers were doing a solid job of just at least showing energy, showing heart. And the Hawks were just kind of not playing very well. And I thought that Reggie Jackson really came out and played great today, honestly. And I've seen a lot of Clipper fans keep saying it on Twitter, but it's true. Reggie Jackson's been better than Lou this season, and we'll get into Lou in a second. But Reggie was doing a good job of pushing the pace, getting to the basket, not settling, and then, the layups and seeing the ball go in, opened up some threes, and he's been shooting the ball pretty well this season, Reggie. So we were neck to neck with them. I thought that, Batum was a little cold in this one. He wasn't getting the same kind of looks that he usually gets with Kawhi and Paul, but went to our bench, and I thought our bench was disappointing. And who more disappointing than, again, Lou Williams? I've said it since game 3 when we lost to Dallas. His time is up. We're going to have to make a move for him at the deadline. I thank him for the year that he gave us, the 2 years he gave us. I don't even know if I want to throw in last year's regular season. He had a good season, but fuck last season. 2019 season was special. 2018, he was great. But it's time to go for him. He really has left also a bad taste in my mouth with the lemon pepper thing. And he just didn't do himself any favors tonight. Getting looks that he's literally made his whole career. Here, the Clipper fans, we've seen these looks, that classic shot going left, and he's just not the same anymore. He's old. He's just, the fact that he was able to play so well at such an older age for a small guard that, lost the step, because he doesn't rely on quickness. He's such a skill-based game. It's impressive how long he's lasted at such a high level. But, eventually all good things must come to an end. And he was just broke tonight. And Marcus Morris Sr. didn't do us many favors either. I thought his shot was just short. But somebody who did play great off the bench was Zoo. I thought they called some BS fouls on him, though. But he had some great moments of offensive rebounding, going up strong. And that's one thing I love about Zoo is he goes up strong. Usually when it's time to dunk it, he dunks it. He's gotten that mojo back this season. He started out being a little soft early in the season, but he had some nice moments offensively, some nice post moves too. But in the third quarter, ultimately, Trae Young really turned it on, and it was in the pick and roll, and it was mostly when Zoo came in the game. Zoo wasn't perfect tonight. His drop coverage defense was really poor, in my opinion. There was one time it started with him sagging off way too far, dropping way too deep. Trae Young walked into a couple threes, and then Trae Young had him in the in-between. And that's the main thing about Trae. When he's taking that in-between game and making it with the floaters, that's when he becomes really unstoppable. And I thought, honestly, as the game went on, like later in the game in the fourth quarter, I thought we maybe should have done blitzing Trae Young at that point when he's that hot, because he was starting to hit those Ice Trae logo shots. This was one of his, by the way, Clipper fans, this was one of his better second halves of the season so far this season. So don't panic too much. Like, he played great. The Hawks had a good second half. And Kevin Huerter, I mean, that's what he does. So we went zone for a bit, and Kevin Huerter started hitting shots to start the fourth quarter. We were in a little hole, but I have to give the team credit, the Clips credit. We fought. We didn't quit. We came back, and we tried. Reggie Jackson tried. Kennard tried. But, I thought Kennard was still a little slow getting over screens. However, it is what it is. Trae Young, he was the player of the game. He took over, and that pick and roll with him and Clint Capella is getting really dangerous, and just like expected, because Capella is such a threat on the lob. You have to make a decision as the big man. You have to step up on Trae Young because he can hit lights out. And if you start stepping up to him and start sticking with him, if you don't switch, someone needs to rotate on the lob to Capella, and it's not an easy person to get to in the air. Trae Young, 38 points, 12 of 23, 3 of 7, 11 of 11 from the foul line. I must say, though, some of those fouls were complete bullshit, and I'm also just starting to get really sick and tired of Trae Young. Like, I like the Hawks, but I honestly don't like them for Trae Young. I've watched the Hawks this year to see if Trae Young's part of the problem. He surely is. This team completely runs on Trae, as I've said. And it showed in this game. If he's playing well, they're winning games. If he's not and he's doing bullshit, they're not winning games. It doesn't have to be like that, but it's the way the team is right now. And it is with most star teams. It usually starts at the top, as I always say on this show. But, yeah, Trae Young played well, but those fouls, man, Steve Nash was right. That shit ain't basketball, some of the stuff that he's doing. And I'm really tired of it. I actually like everyone on the Hawks but Trae Young. He's literally just AAU style. Anyway, Clippers streak gets broken. That sucks. Just because I really wanted it to keep rolling. Paul George and Kawhi, please come back soon. Patrick Beverley, the same. Hawks move on to 9-8. Clippers 13-5. Serge Ibaka, 15 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 6 of 15. He really tailed off in the second half. Reggie Jackson, I thought he was our best player tonight. 20 points, 8 of 16 from the field, 7 boards, 8 assists, and only 2 turnovers. So now we're 13-5. I hope the Knicks beat the Jazz tonight, so that keeps them below us. But now the Lakers have a chance to potentially gain separation here. Anyway, let's move on to the Heat and the Nets. I watched this game yesterday. And once again, no Jimmy Butler, no Tyler Hero. And the big three was playing for the Nets. It was an interesting game because it was actually I don't want to say great, but it was a good defensive game from both teams. And that's surprising hearing that from the Nets. But it started out in the first quarter with Kevin Durant just not getting off to a great start for once. Sometimes that just happens. Kevin Durant's bound to miss at some point. And he was just bricking shots that he usually makes. But also the Heat are a good defensive team. They're going to contest and make life tough for you. But Bam Adebayo, by the way, shout out to Hayden Sigurdsson in the comments that told me Bam's really worked on his mid-range, because I saw it in the last game, and man, what a difference maker that can be. Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, they need to get their asses back ASAP, because Bam Adebayo hitting contested mid-ranges and having that down, now all that's missing is a post game for him to take that next step. He's already, to me, the third best center in the league after Jokic and Embiid, because Karl-Anthony Towns is not great defensively and his availability is terrible. Bam Adebayo is so versatile, and now he's got that mid-range. He's becoming a scoring threat that's not just on rolls and shit. So the next step is a post game, though, because he had a couple opportunities. I'll just wait till I get there, but Heat were up by 6 after 1. The Nets only scored 15 points in the first quarter. James Harden just once again wasn't shooting. And I thought the second and third quarters were really interesting in this game, because the Heat are one of the only teams in the league, alongside the Charlotte Hornets, that go zone for like the majority of games. And they usually put the 2 long wings at the top, which is unconventional, but just to put pressure and get, have better chances of getting deflections and steals. But the Heat, And again, it goes back to, is the NBA getting better and better? Please go watch it if you haven't. Professional basketball players struggling to break through 2-3 zones. Like, are you kidding? And it's because of that same thing I always say. They have nobody go in the high post. And when they flash high post, they're not even getting hit half the time. It's literally preposterous, guys. How are you forgetting the basics? You want to keep running pick and roll with the high 2-3 zone, so then the next guy in the zone can just slide over, and then you shoot the three that they want you to shoot. What happened to ball movement, inside, outside, attack the gaps, get in the middle? Like, I don't understand. Because DeAndre Jordan can't be put in the high post. So Kevin Durant or somebody else, they don't have any traditional power forwards because that position has died. Once again, going back to, is the NBA getting better and better, my video series. But yeah, they can't break through zones because nobody's in the high post. It's ridiculous. It's actually comical. And the Nets just couldn't get good shots, just relying on their threes. But you know what's funny? The Heat had this game for the taking, but Duncan Robinson just couldn't make any shots. Like, Duncan Robinson, 1 of 10. So without Jimmy Butler, without Tyler Hero, you had Bam doing his thing, 10 of 19 with 26, 10, and 5. Jesus Christ. And then Goran had 21. But the next best score was Kendrick Nunn with 11 points, but he was 5 of 17. So if Duncan had given him a little lift in that third quarter, late second quarter, then the Heat may have won this game. But in the fourth quarter, and this is something that's becoming a thing in the fourth quarter for the Nets, they have so many guys that can close the game. And this night was James Harden out of nowhere. He started attacking the zone because instead of taking it from up top playing point, he started getting on the wing and started taking him from there. So it wasn't, so zeroed in on him and starting to take guys one-on-one through that matchup zone. And Harden was doing a good job getting to the basket. Then eventually he was doing that classic tween cross, pull back into a three. So James Harden really turned on in the fourth. It was a very great showing from him. Closed out the game like stars do. And that's the thing with this team. KD started making some shots here and there late in the game. He just had an off shooting night, Kevin Durant, but it wasn't that bad of a game from him. 6 of 21, 3 of 12. I thought he shot too many threes for one, but 21, 13, and 5, a steal and 2 blocks. I thought his defense was good. This was the best defensive game the Nets played for sure since the trade for Harden. And it was mainly, honestly, two guys I want to shout out, Joe Harris and Kyrie in these games. Yes, Kyrie Irving, even though he was only 6 of 17, he actually was fighting getting over screens. And the Miami Heat only scored 14 points in the fourth. And part of that is because Jeff Green did a really good job on Bam Adebayo in the post. But that's the thing I'm saying about Bam. The one thing he needs to get that can take his game to the next level is a post game. He had no running hook. There was a bunch of times where most big men, he was giving him the lane, no running hook. And so Jeff Green, a smaller guy, is getting away with guarding you, Bam. And that's just one of the main things I say. That's the biggest problem with big men in today's NBA. Taking advantage of smaller guys. So Bam, as good as he is developing that mid-range, he needs to have a back-to-basket game if he wants to take that next step as a great, great big man. And I'm not talking great for this era. I'm talking great, great big man. Because Jokic and Embiid, they have the potential to be like actual great bigs, like all-time bigs. I'm not saying top 10 centers of all time. That's an extremely elite class that I couldn't name off the top of my head right now. But that being said, Kyrie Irving, Joe Harris, Jeff Green, overall their defense, the Nets, it was the best I've seen. They did get a little fortunate, though, with the fact that the Heat were so shorthanded and cold in terms of Duncan Robinson. But James Harden, that's the one thing you really want to see if you're a Nets fan. He turned it on in the fourth quarter. He finished with 20. He was 7 of 10, 3 of 5. This team's still working out the kinks, but to get 2 wins in a row with those guys together and to actually hold a team to under 90 points in today's NBA, especially with the way they've been playing, I thought DeAndre was okay too, but he didn't get as many minutes. It was a lot of small ball. Jeff Green, 34 points, 10 points. 34 minutes, 10 points, plus 19. That was tied with Joe Harris for the highest in the game. So 11 and 8 for the Nets, 2 wins in a row. The Heat are kind of in trouble, though, 6 and 10. They need to get their guys back. But that's it for me tonight. Now we're going to go to the live subscribers for a bit. I thank you for joining me. Let me know what you think of this episode. Episode 25. We're ending shorter today. Peace. What's up, y'all? Super chats are turned on if y'all want to drop a dime or a dollar. I haven't gotten paid from YouTube yet. I hope by the end of the month they get to me. What's up, guys? Oh, you guys get into arguments? Yeah, I mean, the Sixers are kind of overrated. 76ers and J Love, you saying that like the Sixers are going to the finals, man. Ha, that little boy William, that's trash ass Warriors is talking shit. That's funny. Yeah, you right, 79 Steve. When you don't see me jamming to an intro, you know. What's up, Mork Blue? We missed you yesterday, Brent. Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting game. The Sixers and the Lakers. Yeah, I feel you, Mork Blue. January isn't a good pay month for YouTube. What do you mean? Bro, it doesn't matter, little boy. If we get to the Western Conference Finals, I'll be happy. Oh, what's up? Bilal Abbasi? Am I saying that right? What's up, J Love? Yeah, Lou needs to go. No, Tim Duncan's a power forward. He played center in the small ball NBA, but apparently he played center at Wake Forest, but in the NBA, he was a power forward. He's the best of all time. How many rings do the Warriors got? 4. Can you name me even all the starting lineups that you won? Can you name me the teams that, can you name me the starting lineup that we believe? You're a little boy. You started watching in like 2013, bro. Like, chill out. Much love from Seattle. What's up, Seattle? Bring back the Sonics. Yes, I think they can win against the Lakers in one game. I feel you, Derek D. No, he wouldn't have been better than Kobe. Yes, I do. 24 alternate white. But it's small for me now, but I had it when I was a kid, and I'm so thankful I got it. Yeah, I agree, Edwin. Thank you, Bilal. Lonzo or D Rose? How about neither? Oh, yeah, drop a like, fools. Drop a like. Drop a like to the video. Baron Davis. Yeah, I know. The only guy you remember because you've seen Andre Karolinko's dunks at highlights because you weren't old enough to watch it. You weren't born yet to watch it in live time. You started bandwagoning when Curry became good and David Lee and all those guys. The Warriors have how many chips? 4? Yeah, 4 real ones in the Bay Area, in the gay area. Yeah. 2 of them were just complete shit. I'm just kidding, though. I don't know about all that, Brent. That sounds like conspiracies. Yeah, William is a little boy, though. He's my biggest fan, though. On every single tweet he comes. Steven Jackson. William, as he's Googling all these names, taking 5 minutes. Yeah, with Rick Barry, Al Addles. Matt Barnes was on that team. Bro, it's so funny. I don't know about Lonzo. It's Wilt Chamberlain, most athletic. Yeah, I don't know, man. Lonzo is a backup, sure, because defense, I guess, but like, I'm not trying to sit here and watch him get through this confidence. Name the 2007 Clippers: Sam Cassell, Catino Mobley, Corey Maggette, Elton Brand, Chris Kaman. Come on, buddy, don't challenge me with that. Tim Thomas, too, if you want to really go there. Sean Livingston before he got his injury against Charlotte that year. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I was watching basketball before you were out the womb, son. Bro, okay, let's get Lonzo. Like, you want to sit here through his free throw issues? I don't. I'd rather have George Hill. I'd rather have Lonzo over Lou, though, if that's what you're asking me. I agree with that take, Bilal Abbasi. Western Conference Finals prediction, I'm just going to say Lakers, Clippers, but I think something's going to go wrong, as always. Yeah, Warriors are nothing but bandwagon fans. B. Diddy was cool to watch. Yeah, I know. I do think that if we play each other, J Love. If we play each other. I feel you. We should try, but I don't think we should force the trade for a natural point guard. But why do you guys think all you guys that don't watch the Clippers are obsessed with that narrative, though? I think it would help to have a good one, though, not just any playmaker. Like, our problem is not creating shots, guys. It's not creating shots. I take Rose, but I don't trust his body. Kawhi and George had their contract. Favorite Clipper memory? It's definitely by the way, it was contact tracing. But my favorite Clipper memory is definitely Game 7 against the Spurs. I was there. was awesome, but it was ruined completely the next round. Do you remember the game when Randers has to Eric Gordon and he hit the game winner? That's so not specific. Which one? Yes, I would have D Rose over Lou. Kawhi Leonard is not good trash, my guy. Mark Blue, are you like a blood? I mean, are you like a Crip or something? No, I'm just kidding. You got the K's. Not Crips are with C's. Glenn Rice versus, that's a very random comparison. Top Rivers. I don't know. I can't give you a good gauge on how great Glenn Rice was yet. I know how good he was, but like I need to watch him to compare him to Beal. Like the sample sizes for me aren't even fair. Drew Holiday type PG. Why Drew Holiday? Drew Holiday is very specific, man. He's like the best defender in the league. Terry Rozier, I would trade him. Yeah, I would trade him for either. Yeah, Kobe, Lamar, Andrew Bynum, Kwame Brown. I know more about Laker history than Clipper history, for sure. Like, Chris was awesome that game, man. Dude, game 7 was not that hard to pay. Dude, it wasn't that hard to get tickets, bro. It was like, I spent 115 and I was sitting in section like 115, like literally. It was like $120. Like that for game 7 for that seat, that's not that much, bro. That's not that much. That's like a couple of hours at a minimum wage job. Like it was pretty insane. That's the greatest thing about being a Clipper fan, man. These tickets are overpricey. It's the best part about it, honestly. I've gotten to see my team so much. Like all these Laker fans say, "Oh, Staples Center's our stadium." Bro, I've been to Staples Center 100 times more than like most Laker fans. Like literally 100. I've been over 100 times. Like because my team's tickets aren't. Here's the funny part. If Laker games were like that much cooler, I get it, but they're not. They're not Knicks games or Celtics games. It's a little bit less than Celtics games, but the atmosphere Celtics are a lot better. But there's a lot of cool feel about the Laker games. But it's not like the Knicks. The Knicks game. That is worth extra money. You guys should, if you guys are in New York, man, that's an experience. Laker games are like the LA fans in all sports, but mainly basketball, even though we love it, lackadaisical, man, lazy. I'm always the loudest one in my section. That shit's not that worth it. I agree, Brent, about that triangle. Magic, insane. But time machine wise, he'd have to adapt, you know? I don't think he'd be better than Steph Curry in this era. He'd have to adapt a bit. But Magic would be insane. Any news? I don't know. He's doing a good job, Herbert Washington. 98 Lakers versus 2021 Clippers. I mean, I don't know if we could guard Shaq, bro. I don't think we're better than the Lakers. But you never know. If we win the championship, maybe I'll talk that. Yes, sir, Sandro Martinez. Lonzo. I don't want Lonzo in our starting 5. Patrick Beverley needs to be there. Depending on the person, Herbert Washington. Lakers squad beats any team. All-time Lakers squad beats you. I think if you put the all-time NBA squad besides the Lakers against the Lakers, they'd still lose. That's the funniest part. I think because let me do that in a second, actually. How many game winners does Eric Gordon have? I think just one. Yeah, right? Which game, though? I don't remember who they played. That's very obscure. I hope not, man, Edwin. Maybe in the beginning. I feel you on that 2010 top Rivers. Why do we need another center, Desmond Ottawa-Kun? Man. I feel you on that, Ernesto George. Laker game. I mean, what? It's only good if the game's good, man. It's not that entertaining. It's not that fun. The ambiance. It's like a movie theater. Michael George. That's my honest opinion of it. On a Saturday, I went to Lakers game at noon, then Clippers at night. Clippers game was whack. What era was it? There was a time where Clipper games were like way worse because they just wasn't full. But once they started getting full in Lob City era, it was so much more fun. Like even when we'd lose, like Clipper games, it was very kid friendly. At least when I was a kid, Laker games, like if the game's not good, that shit's not that fun to me. It's only fun if you've never been to a Laker game and you see like, oh, like the statues, the lighting, the best part about Laker games is the intro with the tarp, bro. Let's be honest. And Lawrence Tanner's intros. The other guard wearing number 24, 6'6", 13th year out of Lower Marion High School, Kobe Bryant. Like that shit's the best part. Lawrence, like the intros, that shit's the funniest. Which team has the loudest fans? I can't speak on that because I've been in every arena. It sounded like OKC for a while. Warriors, Utah. Utah's loud. I'd say the loudest I've seen is Celtics. Magic Johnson could only pass. Spoken like a true 10-year-old. I don't know. Lonzo's not better for our team than Patrick, though. I know 98 Lakers didn't win shit, but that's because they went up against Karl Malone. That a really good Jazz team. Ben Simmons. First of all, anybody that compares Magic Johnson to Ben Simmons doesn't know anything about basketball, does not know about Magic Johnson. Bro, Kawhi, you can't be this. Bro, if you're getting in the conversation for best perimeter defender of all time, your ass better be guarding the best player 90% of the time. Or at least every single time it's a close game. And not switching on pick and rolls, too, like last year in the playoffs. No, last year, Kawhi's season, he got defensive team on reputation. Let's be honest. I'm not hearing that. He's not one of the. I do not best wing defender of all time. Are you crazy, bro? Nobody in this era should be the best any defense of anything of all time, as far as I'm concerned. Draymond Green is really good, but not anymore as much. In the past, he was. Now he's a little slower. But yeah, no. Kawhi's great. I'd say he's one of the better defending small forwards, maybe. He is of this era, and he would be better defensively in other eras where he can usually get more physical. But I just think that people overhype the shit out of him on defense, to be honest, because it's not even that much individual defense played, and for most of the games, he guards the guy in the corner because he wants to conserve energy. Oh, Okongwu? Yes, I think the Hawks can make the playoffs just because they need to take care of business against shitty teams and because the Wizards are disappointing. Dennis Smith? No. Nobody in any era can guard Shaq. 2014, 2017 Warriors. Kawhi and Paul George contact tracing. Let's do a podcast and set YouTube on fire? Possibly. Check out the video when it's over, Maniac Lane. I'm going to end it at 30 minutes. Knicks games when they were good, though. Tuned in late. Yo, there's no team like the Jazz anymore. Blake Griffin's just washed. He's been through too many injuries. Best thing about Laker games are the wins. Yeah, well, they were. It depends what era. Most eras they win, but I want to go to an NBA game one day. You haven't been? I know more about Lakers than Laker fans, bro. Come on. Some of them are so casual. They don't know anything about their team's history. Yes, I do remember when the Clippers played at the Sports Arena, but that was before I was born, to be honest. Actually, no, it wasn't. Right around when I was born. No, he wouldn't. Ben Simmons. All right, yeah. Thank you, random man. Lou Dort is good. Do you think the all-time Clippers team could beat what? The 2002 Lakers? Hell no. AD is best defender right now. But, okay, Top Rivers, I feel you. Last season, but the way he's been playing this season, he's not been. He hasn't had that same hunger on defense. Like, he's been helping late. He gets scored on more than – he's been scored on more this season, I think, than, like, all of last season. I'm serious. No, I wouldn't be happy if the Lakers won. Not with LeBron. Not with this team. Not after last year. Hell no. I don't want the Lakers to win that 18th chip. It's just annoying. Laker fans are too annoying. Where do I rank AD all-time power forwards? I don't know. Maybe 10th or 9th right now. He's getting very overrated relative to other all-time power forwards in terms of at the top. I got him in the top 10 probably. But Okay, Brent, but here's my thing, though. Toronto was the same thing, 2019. The Kawhi, I'm just saying right now, 2017 Kawhi, 2016, 2015, his defense was elite, like for sure. I feel you. Doc Rivers is gone, though, Ernesto. Dude, Pau Gasol would that's even doing Pau Gasol a disservice, though, bro. Pau Gasol against small dudes, they didn't put small dudes on Pau because he used to cook them, bro. AD can't even score on small dudes sometimes. All right, Herbert Washington, I got you. Favorite role player in the NBA? Nicholas Batum. Test me on Warriors history. Who's the greatest Warriors center of all time? This is not a yes or no answer. You're right, Top Rivers. It is early. Okay, Kevin Durant is much different than Harrison Barnes, in my opinion. And Magic Johnson, no, I don't want to even hear any. There's nothing about Ben Simmons that should be put in the same conversation as Magic Johnson just because they're 6'9" point guard. No, that's disrespecting Magic Johnson in itself. Completely disrespecting him. Jamal Murray's a good player, man. I don't hate Laker fans. It's only a select group. Serge has been good. I don't know. Kevin McHale is hungry, Johnny. Yeah, I agree, Brent. Wilt Chamberlain. Robert Covington, huh? Oh, wait. Okay, who's the second best Warrior center of all time? This is also non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Also, when was the first time the Warriors made the championship? Simon, I think he would be. But I honestly think Tim Duncan should be hovering around the top, though. He can be argued that he can be hovering around the top. Clay, he's not a center. What's up, Jonah? Stop giving him the answers that one American dude who watches AFL footy. Reggie's been better than Lou right now, yes. Stop giving him the answers. That's that one American dude who watches AFL footy. I see you. You know your shit. The Warriors' history is interesting. They were really good in the late 60s. Do you even know who? Look at this guy coming off Google, bro. When was the first time they made in the Bay Area? If you don't answer within 10 seconds, you don't know. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wrong. 1964. Lost to the Celtics in 5. Fuck you, William. You're a little boy. Don't touch me. All right. The all-time 60s team with Jerry West, Oscar. That's all, Andrew. That's all dependent on the rules. They played in completely different worlds, completely different equipment, everything. I can't compare them in a game. Putting them on the court. That's what 2K's for, because the games they dribble the ball a different way, literally. So Nate Thurmond is extremely underrated. Rick Barry. That is the dude from Twitter, Brian. 1975. It was 1964 was the first appearance, I said. All right, guys, I'm out for the night, though. Peace. Ask him who made up Run TMC. Yeah, 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. All right, done. Nate Thurmond. Mitch Richmond. Tim Hardaway Jr. Who's the last one? William. You better give it to me in 5 seconds, you little kid. Come on. I'm going to embarrass you. We're going to embarrass you every time. Look how long it's taking this guy to Google the answer. Who is the third member of Run TMC outside of Tim Hardaway and Mitch Richmond? He works for you right now. Come on, little kid. Stop giving him the answers. Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin, you doofus. All right, we're out. Peace. Warriors suck. Let me get everybody drop a Warriors suck in the comments right now. He's guessing everybody but them. All right, everybody drop a Warriors suck in the comments. Peace.